Welcome, listeners, to Thru the Sightglass, a podcast that dives deep into the fascinating world of craft beer and celebrates the incredible individuals who shape its vibrant landscape. Join us on a journey where we explore the nuances of this amazing industry and the remarkable people who contribute to its richness and diversity. And today, Bob at Figurehead has made time for us. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, we love it. We love coming into Seattle and hanging out, so thank you. Yep. And we just said your name. Can you introduce yourself and your role here at Figurehead?
Yeah, so my name's Bob Monroe. I'm one of the founders, owners of Figurehead Brewing, and also act as a head brewer.
Okay, very
along
nice.
with janitor and maintenance guy and marketing guy and all that.
Always multi-roles.
Yes, that's definitely something we understand and know. So
it's like a job requirement of if you want to work in a brewery, multi-roles.
Yeah.
You got to know how to fix toilets.
Yes, yes, for sure. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Central Illinois, a couple hours south of Chicago, in a little town that people in Illinois haven't even heard of.
Oh, nice.
I started homebrewing when I was 19.
Okay.
My buddy and I thought we were pretty clever because you don't need 21 to buy the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
The beer is terrible, but we still drank it.
Yeah.
I moved out here in 2004 after graduating college.
Okay.
I got a job at a large aerospace company.
Oh, okay. I think everybody can put that together.
And 2004, the craft beer scene here compared to Illinois.
Oh, wow.
Easily 10 or 15 years ahead of where we were in Illinois.
Yeah.
So I really got into it after I moved out here and really started heavily homebrewing, and eventually started thinking about, leaving my day job and doing something else. And so I went to brew school, did an MBA.
Oh, nice.
Try to prep myself as much as I could.
Did you do, was it the UC Davis program?
Is it
Brewers
UCLA?
Guild? Okay, Brewers
American
Guild,
Brewers
nice.
Guild. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. So in 2016, my wife, she said, either stop talking about it or just do it.
Hell yeah, wife.
So we did it.
Yeah.
Yep, and here we are almost 9 years later.
Yeah,
nice.
That's amazing. That's so wild to go from just homebrewing as basically a kid. I mean, 19. Basically a kid.
What was your focus in school?
Engineering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was an engineer.
I was trying to find if it was science or engineering.
Yeah.
I guess they're a mix of both, but
Yeah, and that's what I love about brewing is it's that great mix of science and art. It's really my only artistic outlet. I have no
that's
artistic
great.
ability beyond creating beer recipes, but
That's great. No, there's some of the best brewers that create some of the most creative beer come from an engineering science background.
Engineering science. Yeah, you had to have that little bit of a knack. That's, Lucky Envelope, he was an engineer as well. So
yeah.
Growing up, were you around beer in Illinois? Like, how did y'all stumble into homebrewing?
It was, Busch Light and
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's basically our.
Was Goose Island out there yet?
They were just getting going. And
okay,
then,
gotcha.
There's a brewery in St. Louis, Schlafly.
He's been, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I lived in St. Louis for a while.
So that was like the one kind of craft beer that we could get.
Okay, gotcha.
I went to school in Carbondale, Southern Illinois.
Okay.
Okay,
and that was like the one beer that we could get there. That was kind of my introduction to craft beer.
I see.
Was that, you were like, we can figure this out. We can brew, like we can homebrew.
Yeah, and this was, a long time ago. We ordered a kit, and it came with a VHS.
Oh,
so
nice.
you put the VHS on and you brew along with the kit.
Oh, that's actually
that
so cool.
That's how we originally started.
It's weird. It's weird to think that that's probably in like a brewing history museum now as like the VHS homebrew kit. You could order off a catalog. Yeah.
So, well, do you remember what your first brew was, or like first recipe? Or
I think it was a brown ale.
Brown ale. I feel like that's generally.
It's usually I feel like a brown or amber, because especially where it's shipping from, I feel like the wide access probably to like whatever hops you're going to use, they're probably subject to temperature change and all this stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and I don't. I honestly don't even remember there being even a consideration of what hop to use or anything like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the area where other people homebrewing at all? Could y'all talk with people?
Yeah, like a homebrewers club.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so did you continue to homebrew whenever you went to college as well? Or did you
a little bit, but not a ton.
Okay.
Like I said, once I moved out here is when I really got into it and probably brewed over 100 batches. And
okay. Yeah.
not
Gotcha.
too long before I started this.
I feel like you had such a different sort of like college experience because you were going into college and knowing you probably were going to drink. You were already on to craft beer, or like that's what you were preferring, as opposed to like keggers and just racks of Busch Light.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a preference, and then there's also what you could afford.
Way forward.
True.
Yes.
That is a
They
good
don't
point.
necessarily.
You may
align.
want this, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that so much. Okay, so you're here, you've graduated, got the job here, I'm assuming, and that's why you moved out here. Had you ever been to the West Coast before?
I'd never been to Seattle.
Okay.
Before I drove out here.
Got the
Gotcha.
job, drove out,
Yeah.
nice. And then what were some of the first craft beer experiences that you had out here? Because there were so many, I'm sure.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think back. I mean, Elysian was obviously here.
Mhm.
I actually did an internship at Elysian
Oh,
after I
okay.
did the American Brewers Guild.
Okay, nice.
Pre
Yeah,
buyout.
buyout.
Pike Brewing, big time.
Yeah.
In the U District.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Maritime.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm
all,
sure.
all the old school ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a lot easier to do home brewing out here then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure.
I mean, there's actually stores here
Yeah.
that you could go by. And
Did
get that.
were you brewing with people or just by yourself? Did you have a.
I brewed by myself until I moved into a house over in Ballard, and my backyard neighbor was also a home brewer. So
Okay.
we started brewing together, and then he helped me start Figurehead.
Okay, all right. And so is he still part of Figurehead?
He is not as active member
Okay.
anymore, but I
Gotcha.
do have another business partner that I met at grad school at
Okay.
Seattle U,
Okay.
and he is still active.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Very cool. So you're home brewing, you're working your full-time job, your wife is like, you got to do this. So did you have to, were you able to do school and your full-time job, or did you have to choose at that time, or did you have to step away?
Yeah, well, I did everything
Okay.
for about the first three and a half years
Oh.
of
Wow.
Figurehead.
Wow.
I was still having my day job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, man. That's
Yeah,
intense.
we talk
Yeah.
about burnout a lot, and people that get in this industry are insanely ambitious, and I think have a crazy work ethic, and so that's just one of those that just shows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a kid in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're busy.
And now I
You
got a
filled the
second
bingo
kid.
card.
Yeah.
You filled the bingo card. Was that like, I guess some of that drive and work ethic or ambition, is that something that you grew up with, or is that something you just developed?
No, it was definitely something that was instilled in me at a young age.
Okay, gotcha.
My dad was a farmer, and
Okay.
my
Oh,
mom was
nice.
a pastor, and working hard was definitely part of growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's intense.
There's probably no better way to get taught than from hardworking parents
Yeah.
to prepare you for what the real world is actually going to be
Yeah,
like.
for
Yeah.
sure. With that growing up, so you grew up on the farm with your family. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I got an older sister and a younger sister.
Okay, so
Nice. Are they in the brewing industry?
No, they are.
Oh man. Well, what did your family think of you starting the brewery?
They were surprised,
Yeah.
but super supportive. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, they've been out quite a few times, and they help every time they're out. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Help fix the toilets.
yeah.
Yeah. For sure. That's amazing. So what did the conversation look like? So you go to school to learn brewing, and then you said you did an internship. Did you work at another brewery after that?
Nope, I
Just
just
a-
did the one internship.
The one internship?
Oh, wow.
Okay. That's intense. So what are some of the things that you felt like in the internship that you were able to, going from school to applying it, what are some of the big lessons that you learned during that internship?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me was just the confidence I gained
Mm.
from
Mhm.
doing that, to be like, oh, I think I can actually do this,
Okay.
Yeah.
at least at the scale that we were going to do it.
Yeah, I was like, that's
Um,
no small brewery to intern at. Elysian is already blowing up. That's incredible.
Yeah, and it was an interesting time, too, for Elysian, because they had just built out their new production brewery down in Georgetown.
Oh, okay.
It was just getting up and running. I probably cleaned 2,000 kegs there.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
That's amazing.
and then they had, they're really small, almost like a homebrew setup at Tangletown.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the Capitol Hill location.
At Tangletown?
Tangletown.
Okay, nice. I've not heard that vernacular.
It's a neighborhood
okay.
just east of Green Lake.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a funny nickname because there's always like a snake pit in the cellar or something. I was like, that's awesome.
And then they also had the one down by the stadiums.
Gotcha.
So they had like four
Four.
different size systems brewing different beers and all a little bit different.
Mhm.
So it was really an interesting a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were you able to do some brewing as well as cleaning kegs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they let me get on the brew deck and help out. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to ask what that progression was like for you when you got in from internship. Did they immediately start you just in production and then you had to work from production to cellar to brewer, or how'd that stepping ladder go?
Yeah, I mean, you rotate around and, basically whatever they needed me to do, I did.
Okay.
Right?
Awesome.
Whether that's moving kegs or washing kegs or cleaning tanks or whatever it is,
Nice.
Yeah. Were you able to be a part of, because obviously you've been homebrewing, so working on recipe development, trying things out, what was that like, applying some of those skills, and then from school to the internship? Were you able to utilize some of that, or was it since they already had all their recipes?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there. I was probably there 6 weeks maybe.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I didn't get to the stage of contributing much to recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had pretty much
Nailed
stable
in.
of beers that they made. So.
Yeah. And especially for the scale they're growing, they're probably like, everything's working, so we're just not going to touch it. Just let it ride.
Yeah. So you knew kind of going into school internship that you were going to start something. Is that correct?
That was my goal.
That was your goal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you had your friend in the back that you were homebrewing with.
Mm-hmm.
How did you meet your other business partner?
I did a MBA at Seattle U.
Oh,
okay.
And he was there at the same time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Was that after you did brewing, or at the brewing school, or is that before?
I think I did the MBA first. And then did the brewing
gotcha.
program.
Wow.
But again, the MBA was also
for
planning to do this.
Okay, interesting. What made you want to do the MBA, just to learn business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I feel like it gives you a better handle. I mean, we've met a couple brewers that already had college degrees, and then once they were running the brewery, they started doing like an MBA online course. I think Josh did that and a couple other ones.
Yeah, I just wanted to know why.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So learning the business, then learning the brewing. Gotcha. Okay, so did you all sit down and you're like, okay, this is what we're doing, or like, what was that conversation look like?
I mean, I think for us, I was kind of the driving force, right? I had always kind of had this vision, and I kind of drugged them along.
Yeah, you're like, you're coming with.
Yeah.
I will say that is that time period of 2015, 2016, 2017. I feel like that was like a real peak of craft beer where it was really looking like very viable businesses that could grow quickly and make a huge impact. I mean, shoot, you had so many amazing ones pop up. So I feel like that's also like a good part of the stride where you're watching this and it's like, hey, we got to go. Like, now is the time. Okay. Whereas now people are kind of like, eh.
Yeah. So you're done with your internship. You're working full time. You're like, hey, guys, we're going to do this. How did y'all, decide where, like, location-wise, and then also on the name?
So we looked for a space for probably close to 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Kind of on and off. And nothing seemed to quite fit for what we wanted to do. So we finally found this space by Fisherman's Terminal. And my neighbor that started the business with me, he worked in the maritime industry his entire life, his adult life, pretty much. So being next to Fisherman's Terminal and having that maritime connection, some kind of maritime name seemed to make sense. And in that 2-year time span, we probably went through 5 different names. Right? And never really loved one of them. So we found the space and we get ready to sign the lease, and you got to have a name for the lease. We're like, oh shit, we got to come up with a name.
We got to actually nail this down.
So between the location and the maritime connection, some kind of maritime name seemed to make sense for us. So if people aren't clear, Figurehead is the lady on the front of the boat.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That is good to know, because my family, we grew up in the South in Texas, and we don't know maritime terms. So
I didn't know it either.
Yeah, Figurehead. Gotcha. So it's the lady on the front of the boat. Okay, very cool. I love that. Okay, so y'all have signed the lease. Y'all have a name. What were some of the next steps for y'all?
So we really bootstrapped it. So we more or less built the entire space ourselves, other than bringing in some plumbers to make some connections and electrician. But other than that, we did the entire build out pretty much ourselves. So it was a labor of love for sure.
Yeah, and I guess that makes sense for your background, but then you're also like, that's all of my time. And that's usually the difference of when you want to pay somebody else to do it, that frees up your time to focus on other things. Yeah. What was the guiding force behind, I I guess, the kind of styles of beer that y'all make?
I mean, it's probably kind of cliche, but the kind of beers that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
No,
not cliche.
cliche. That's awesome.
what most people say.
You know, I love. Yeah, I had a professor in brew school that he talked about don't put something in a beer if you can't tell that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of referring more to malt bills. Like people tend to see have a tendency to add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and end up with like 15 different malts in there.
Right.
And you can't taste half of them.
Yeah.
Right. So why would you put it in there if it's not contributing something to the beer?
Yeah.
And I kind of extrapolate that to everything, right? So I'm never going to use like 1056 or some kind of West Coast ale yeast that doesn't contribute anything to the beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going to use yeast like Belgian, English, saisons, those type of yeast that contribute flavor
Yeah.
to the finished beer.
Right.
Because again, why put something in there if it's not contributing something to how you're perceiving the beer?
Interesting.
wow.
I like that
Yeah.
thought process.
So those type of beers really resonate with me. I love simple beers, like simple in construction but interesting and flavorful.
Yeah.
So we make a Belgian single.
Mm-hmm.
If you go over to Magnolia, it's on tap over there, a Potter's beer. But super simple. You know, it's 97% Pilsner malt, a little bit of hops, and Belgian yeast.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But it ends up being super interesting and flavorful and makes you want to keep drinking them. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
we'll definitely have to go try it.
I think it's always nice to talk to so many people because there's such a balance between some people that like to use a lot, whereas you and even Josh elsewhere was the same way. He said beer doesn't need a whole lot to make it amazing. He's like, and especially that breaks it down where you can talk about like it can be 3 or 4 simple things that have so much expression. So it's cool to see that. It really is, because especially we live in Washington State where most of the hops are produced, and not only that, now there's hop oils, hop tinctures, hop everything. So it can really start to get wild when you hear some brewers talk about like it's not just dry hopping, like I do a tincture and then I do this in here and that in there, and it's like wow.
Yeah. Well, and I always tell people, you know, malt is what makes beer beer. I mean, and that might be my opinion, but you can put, like you said, you can put hops in hop water and tea and cider. There's hop cider. None of those are beer.
Yeah.
Because none of them have malt. Right?
Right.
Malt is what makes beer beer, and why it makes it such an amazing beverage, right? Why you can pair it with any kind of food and you can have such a infinite range of flavor profiles.
Yeah.
To me, it's because of the malt.
Malt, yeah.
So most of our beers are going to really highlight the malt.
That's awesome.
And, you know, our tagline is beauty and balance. So
Yeah.
it's always balancing the malt with the other ingredients.
That's awesome.
that
I love
so
that
much.
approach.
Speaking of malt, how do you source? Are you really specific then about where you get your malt then?
You know, I'll break it down in 2 ways. So base malts, I try to source as close as I can, right? So I'm not, again, this is me, but I'm not making a Pilsner with German Pilsner malt. You know, people swear by it and they'll only make it with German Pilsner malt. I use all North American Pilsner malt, and I think we make a pretty good Pilsner.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Maybe it's the difference between a really good Pilsner and a gold medal winning Pilsner.
Yeah.
But I just have a hard time justifying shipping thousands of pounds of malt halfway around the world when we've got great
malt.
amazing malt here.
Yeah. I love that.
I do supplement that with some specialty malts from England and France and Belgium, Germany. But the majority of my malt I try to get North American.
Okay.
Yeah.
grown
So you
malt.
focus a little bit more on locality as opposed to like true to style in some cases. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. We got to go out to a malt house, Blue Ox malt in
Lisbon, Maine.
In Maine, and that was really cool. They do floor malting, and so it was really cool to see the process. Because I mean, we've been to a ton of breweries, obviously, but we really hadn't like tapped into talking with people who do hops or malt or anything like that, or anything that
Yeah.
And we've talked to a lot of people about their water. Like that's big for some places that we go. Their water is really specific. But it was really cool to see the process of floor malting because we'd never done that. So I feel like I have a new appreciation for malt, and really understanding there is so many different things you can do because they had a roaster there. So I'm sure like being able to get some of that specialty malt that you were talking about is really cool and really interesting, and bringing in to the beer. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and obviously, floor malting contributes a specific type of flavor, and obviously Maris Otter is kind of the go-to English malt, right? But we make, we use a mix of high color pale malt from North America.
Oh, nice.
And then we add in a little bit of victory malt or biscuit malt, and those type of things to kind of supplement that, to try to kind of recreate that Maris Otter flavor in our English styles without having to ship expensive Maris Otter malt halfway around the world.
Yeah. I love keeping it local too. Like, I mean, a lot of people talk about that, and it just makes sense. Like, we're all in the industry, and we're all trying to make a living and to support each other in that.
And I think there's always been a huge push, for the past couple of decades to have better, North American craft malt. A lot of programs, a lot of things that, help to support that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so you'll have a place, you have a name. What y'all are building it out? What did that timeline look like? Obviously, because it sounds like y'all probably still had daytime jobs.
Yeah, I think we took the space in December, and we opened September 2nd.
Okay, wow.
So
that's pretty fast.
We busted it.
Yeah.
And I was like calling and emailing the TTB to get my approval, and
you were pleasantly persistent.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we needed to get open. We weren't even done building out. I mean, we opened up, and, we were sitting on, benches that we built out of 2x10s and nothing on the walls, and, and
a real rustic look.
Yeah. I mean, we basically opened for a couple of days, and then we shut down and immediately started building again.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just because we needed to get open and start generating some cash.
I see. Gotcha.
Yeah,
that was going to be my question about what the hurry was. That makes sense. I think that's the fastest turnaround time we've ever heard of.
Probably. What was the reception like? Had y'all been brewing and being able to like get beer out there, or like what?
Yeah. What was the community like?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I just been homebrewing, so obviously when you homebrew and you give all your friends beer, they tell you it's the best beer in the world, right?
Right.
Free beer is always the best beer.
Is the best beer.
So yeah, we didn't really have any, public, exposure until we opened.
Okay.
That's kind of daunting.
Yeah. And there's always, and I mean, I'm sure other brewers have this too, but there's always that kind of back of your mind, like, is our beer still good? Like, so it, one of the things we enter competitions, and we're lucky enough to win some medals, and that kind of gives me that reaffirmation every once in a while. Oh, okay,
you're on the right
I
track.
guess we're still making some good beer.
Yeah, for sure. What was it like for the first few days?
It was nuts.
Yeah.
And again, this was 2016, so like you said earlier, it was still kind of at that kind of pinnacle where you open a brewery, people are going to come, at least at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
From all around. So yeah, we had some pretty crazy lines, and it was nuts the first couple weekends.
That's awesome.
What beer do you remember the beers you opened with?
Oh, I mean, we had the Potter's beer on. We've always had that one. I think we had a brown. I honestly don't remember. We only had like 6 beers on when we opened.
That's okay.
That's still a lot to have on to start.
Yeah. Well, I think the beer community here too would be super, I think, excited and receptive for like a Belgian single to be on tap, because you have such a well-educated beer community around here.
That's wild. I love it. Okay, so y'all open, shut down, keep building, open, shut down. So the first year or two, like, what did that feel like? What was that storyline?
I mean, it was super busy, obviously, with all 3 of us had day jobs, so there's nobody that was like full-time focused on it. So it was almost treading water a little bit first few years.
Were y'all open like all the time, or just like weekends, or what did that look like?
I think we started Friday through Sunday, and then we gradually added
more and more days.
As we hired bartenders and
that's smart
production.
That's smart.
At what point have all of y'all left daytime jobs, or were you the only one?
No, I'm the only one. So
when did that happen? What was that conversation like?
2019. I got approval to do a 1-year leave of absence
Okay.
from my day job.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of the, let's make a go at this.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, we kind of treaded water for a few years and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't really taking off.
Yeah.
So I was like, take a year off, focus solely on this. Had a second kid in there too.
Mm-hmm.
And just make a go of this and see where it can go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that year, I came up on the year, and I was going to have to make a decision whether, I go back to my day job or just quit
Mm-hmm.
and just stay at the brewery. And it actually coincided with the pandemic.
I was about to say, that's
2020.
pretty close, yeah.
So it kind of worked out kind of nice because about a month before I had to go back, they offered a round of layoffs. So I went back to work for a day and got laid off.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Nice. Okay, right on.
Hey, that works out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that happened, COVID. What was that like for y'all?
I mean, it was good that I was full-time because it was such a rapidly changing time.
Oh, yeah.
Like the different regulations and rules, and it was constantly evolving.
Yeah, so much stuff to navigate.
Yeah. So just staying on top of that, I mean, it was really my full-time job, right? So I think we were the first Seattle brewery to start delivering.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Um,
Which is so smart.
We hand bottle.
Mm-hmm.
We still do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we bottled thousands and thousands of bottles. To go was obviously pretty big.
That's also a nice lane to be in because you weren't fighting for aluminum. There was,
Yeah.
I know so many breweries that were like buying,
find it,
you know,
yeah.
crowler machines, and they needed lids and they needed cans, and breweries even buying like, let's not saying they did this, but let's say you needed a 12-ounce can. You couldn't get a blank one, so you'd buy a pallet from Fremont that's like their interurban, and then you put your label over it. So yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah. Our Magnolia space has a huge outdoor beer garden.
Oh, sweet.
Kind of overlooks the Fisherman's Terminal. So that was a big plus for us because we
Outdoor
were able
space.
to expand quite a bit out there and still
Okay.
keep tables spaced apart. And
Oh, nice.
it would be middle of winter, right? 50 degrees and rainy, and people would be sitting out there drinking beer
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
needed to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
Have a
just
beer.
wanted some sort of normalcy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's also just P&W for you. Like,
Yeah.
if you go anywhere else
True.
in the United States, no one is doing that. But that was my initiation. I remember standing out in the rain, drinking a beer around a campfire, and I was like,
Yeah, I was working
I
at
was
Fort
like,
George.
I'm finally like, I can feel like I'm initiated into the P&W. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm standing in the rain, drinking
And we
a
were
beer.
like 2 out of like 30 people that were also
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
Yeah. So I love that y'all had that space. I'm sure that really helped to get some normalcy back for y'all as well.
Yeah, so we actually did pretty well during the pandemic.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're able to navigate that much better than most.
What was it like doing delivery? I mean, how did y'all figure out that y'all wanted to do that, or how to do that?
I heard that the state was going to start allowing it, so I applied and started doing it.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're just
we
like,
threw it up on our website and made it happen.
yeah. I think we had one brewery that we were in Oklahoma at the time, and I think
Oh, that dude delivery.
I think there was one. I think
It might have been Vanessa House.
it was either Vanessa House or Stone Cloud, but I remember it was so odd to like. I don't even know that we even like. I think they like put it down on the front porch or something. I don't even
Yeah.
know. Like I can't even remember.
You did like
how-
a shop on their website.
Yeah,
Gave
like,
the
paid online.
gave the address.
Yeah.
I think what was so to me so interesting, but also kind of like giddy and fun, is that you just had to like. You had to find a way to do the normal things in like this weird dystopian world. So like when we'd go to a brewery and able to get like 6-pack of crowlers,
Yeah.
we were just like, oh my god, we're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
You get to go outside and do this, and then we'd hurry back home to our little COVID bubble, and then it's back to watching Tiger King, and you're like, oh yeah, this is what's going on for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's so wild. Okay, so everyone moved through COVID. What inspired y'all to do a second location?
I mean, it was really that period where we had kind of taken off, and back up a little bit. So our purpose, I guess, is to enrich the lives of our customers, employees, and community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of our driving force.
Okay.
And it's kind of obvious in Magnolia that we had a bit of a ceiling, right? Where we weren't going to get to the kind of sales that we needed to get to fulfill that purpose. And I'm also very big. Our mission is also to create connections with and between customers, and the best way to do that is over the bar. So not selling beer in grocery stores. That doesn't fulfill our mission.
Awesome.
So really, the way to fulfill both of those things was through a second tap room where we can continue to serve beer across the bar top, and increase our sales to where we can, fulfill the things that we want to fulfill.
Nice. So I'm assuming you're not with a distributor. Do you self-distro to any small accounts, or is it simply DTC?
We do, but it's probably 3% of our production.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Everything
That's
across
so
the
cool
board.
to have such a strong backing from the community that you're able to do that. That's awesome.
How'd y'all find this location?
Again, it was year and a half search. The unique thing about this location is that we have a full kitchen in the back. Excuse me. That it's operated by a ramen restaurant called Midnight Ramen.
That's awesome.
And they used to bring their food trailer to the Magnolia space, and now it's parked inside the space.
Oh, okay.
So it creates this great, kind of food hall atmosphere.
Oh,
Where
wonderful.
you can grab food from them, you grab drinks from us, and you can kind of sit wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah, a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. So when we were looking for a second location, that was a big driving force to the type of space that we were looking for.
Yeah.
And we also wanted to be in a neighborhood that was very walkable.
Yeah,
and,
it's very walkable here.
lots of people around, which is kind of different from our Magnolia location.
Yeah.
So that this space really suited both of those things that we were looking for.
I love it. It's
That's
beautiful
awesome.
in here too. Definitely.
Especially the other shops, I think, also feed into that atmosphere. There's a coffee shop I saw right up the way, so it's nice that people can almost essentially spend an afternoon hitting multiple things they might want to do.
Yeah, for sure. What was the reception like whenever y'all moved in here from the community?
It's good. When we first opened up, there was a lot of construction going on in Stoneway here, and which kind of disrupted the flow and the visibility of people coming by and seeing us. So I think, kind of getting the word out in a brand new neighborhood that we weren't in before has taken a little bit of time. But, everybody that comes in here, I think, really loves the space and loves the concept and the food and the drinks here. So
When did y'all open here?
April of last year.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's amazing. So you've had a full year then being here. Amazing. Well, cool. I wanted to kind of go back until any of y'all first started. I know that you had shared with us just, some personal things that were going on when y'all were opening. I wanted to kind of hear how that has impacted how y'all have done business and how you've been able to apply some of this stuff to your business as well.
Sure. Yeah, so about 6 months after we opened, so we opened in September 2016, March of 2017, I was diagnosed with a health condition, and the result of that was that I couldn't drink anymore. So you could imagine 6 months after opening this dream of a brewery, not being able to drink anything that we're making anymore, right?
Yeah.
And, there's obviously this period of, could I even continue with the business, or we're going to have to, close it up because I wouldn't have the passion around it, or being around it every day was going to be difficult, which it obviously it was at first. But once you've opened it and you signed a lease, you're kind of committed. So I stuck with it, and I think for me, it kind of pivoted from this kind of passion around brewing to this passion around running a business.
Oh, very cool. Almost like a transfer.
Yeah, and there's this idea that you should find something you're passionate about and start a business around it. And I think that's a little bit of a not quite accurate. I think what you need is to have a passion for running a business.
Oh, I love that.
And then if you can also do that around something else that you have a passion around, that's double bonus, right?
Yeah. I would agree.
So I think for us, being, and I think if you go back to our purpose and the mission that I mentioned, neither one of those things, I don't know if you picked up on it, neither of them niche beer.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of maybe unusual for a brewery to
Yeah.
not have a mission around beer. And obviously that's not to imply that the beer is not important. Like
Right.
we, making super high quality beer is
Yeah, that doesn't
a
mean lack
priority
of
for
care.
us, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's and I think beer is the best thing to facilitate those connections. Like it's an
Right.
amazing way to facilitate connections, but it's not the only way.
Right.
And it allows us to kind of do other things like make NA beer and hop water, and here we focus on the food and we serve sake and hot tea and all these different things.
Yeah, so experience and like atmosphere.
But we can still fulfill that mission outside of beer. And so I think that might be something maybe a little bit more unique for us is, maybe I'm a little bit more focused on the business side of it and that mission, and at the same time still making high quality beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, part of that mission and part of any type of business. I mean, you got your MBA. Like any business, you have to have high quality service and or product. Like hand in hand. So it is that. Like it's not just, yes, it's the business, but the service and the product itself has to be high quality to be able to fulfill those missions. So I think honestly that makes, most people maybe have it a little bit backward, even though like their passion is the beer, obviously.
Yeah.
But the business and the connection with the consumer, I think, is probably the biggest thing as well. You can't just have really good beer. You have to also have that good connection. So,
And I think easily overlooked.
yeah.
I think it's very mature and very impressive, I think, to have that transfer, like you said, because there's so many people that are building a business because they're passionate about, making beer. And we know plenty that have gotten out of the industry because they weren't able to have a healthy relationship with alcohol. And I think that is, and that's not saying at all, that's not your case. But I think it's a very mature thing to still apply that, be like, okay, where can I put that in this business that we've made, because we're in it now. And I can't just be like, okay, well, it has to stop because I can't do this anymore. So I think that's insanely impressive.
Yeah, it really is. When did you start trying to make when did you start making NA beer or hop water? What did that look like?
So I stayed away from NA beer for a while, just because I had this feeling that it would remind me too much of what I was missing. So I just kind of stayed away from it completely for probably a couple of years. But then you get to this point where you can't be drinking soda all the time, and LaCroix gets boring, and like you got to have something else. So then I did start trying some NAs, and then I kind of like got obsessed about it, and tried every single one I could find, and tried to find which ones are the best, and researching how they're made, and what methods make the best ones. And so I really kind of went kind of crazy and obsessive about it.
Was there a lot of information available?
No,
Wow.
there was not. And this was 2018 or 2019 about then.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha. That's still very early.
It was still very early. Like you couldn't get, most of what's on the market now was not out there.
Right.
Then.
It's not like you call up a brewer friend too and be like, hey, how do you do this, or do you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody, not too many people are doing it, and the people that were doing it weren't too forthcoming with the details on how they were doing it. So I honestly don't remember the dates offhand, but we probably released our first NA in 2022 ish. And I had done probably 18 months of trials before that.
Right.
Basically on a homebrew scale.
Okay.
And it kind of reignited my passion for brewing in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
It took me back to 2004, like learning how to
That's awesome.
learning how to homebrew.
Right.
And it's very different from brewing normal alcoholic beer. So it's completely learning new processes and using different ingredients and using them in a different way.
Yeah. Because
so
now you have
it's
to
really interesting.
Now you have to control it. Like I know we talked about this earlier, but we'll let our listeners know. You have to control it where it ferments, but doesn't ferment past a certain point at all. But you still want to maintain all these flavors and have it still taste like beer, but not have it affect you the way beer does.
Yeah, you make a 6.1% IPA and it ends up being 6.3%. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
exactly.
You make try to make a 0.5% non-alcoholic and it ends up 0.7. It's no longer non-alcoholic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you have much tighter tolerances.
For sure. How have you documented that process?
So I have a blog on our website, if you go check it out. So I basically kept track of every single trial I performed and kind of what I learned along the way and some of the other sources that I found to help me, and some of the beers that I tried along the way that I thought were really good. So I try to document as much as I can. Like I said, the NA industry is a little bit more close to the vest with how they do it, and and there's some reasons to that around proprietary processes to get the flavors they're wanting.
Yeah.
But there's just this general lack of sharing knowledge around how to make NA beer, and it's getting better now. Now that more craft brewers are getting involved.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I think it's getting a little bit better at this point, but at the time there wasn't much available, so I decided to go the other way and just document everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
So people can go check it out. They can, and it's more or less homebrew scale. So if there's homebrewers out there that want to try an NA beer, there's recipes.
Oh,
on
nice.
there.
It'll fit right in.
Have
Cool.
you
We'll link it.
Yeah, definitely. Have you had people reach out to you then, like in the industry or homebrewers who want to talk to you about your process and glean information of how they could do it?
I've had a few people, especially when I first started out, that had come across my blog, and I think there was a guy in Florida or somewhere that reached out and
that's
had some
cool.
questions, or maybe it was Arizona.
Yeah.
So we exchanged some emails and things. But
Gotcha.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, and we have your hop water here. Tell us a little bit. How is it doing? Did you do both at the same time, or was it a little bit?
I mean, the hop water is a little bit simpler. I mean, it's basically sparkling water with hops, right?
Yeah.
So that was released first.
Okay.
And that was maybe 2019 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit.
And we've done some different things with like teas and some different beverages like that.
Yeah. I love how snappy and light it is. Like it's a perfect amount of hop aroma where you get it and then it just sits there. It does have like watered down tea-esque like flavors to me, like green tea or matcha,
tea,
but
yeah,
it's wonderful.
Yeah, we use real lime and real lemon juice in it
nice.
to get our pH where we want it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And then we use hop pellets at not at boiling, but at like 180 degrees to get a little bit of bitterness and some flavor. And
Burn
then
off some of that oil.
Yeah, and then we either finish with a dry hop or hop oils
Gotcha.
to give the aroma.
It's great. Oh, and I love that lemon and lime. I feel like that almost adds a different like mouthfeel and texture to it too.
Yeah. Have you played around with like different flavors then, or is it always kind of generally been the same type of hop?
I mean, we change up the hops quite a bit, and different hop oils as well.
Very cool. Kind of keeps that creativity going, so not every batch is the same.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We actually, sorry, just
no, you go ahead.
It's interesting at our, especially at our Magnolia location, we have some older gentlemen that come in, they're regulars, and they'll oftentimes blend the hop water with a beer.
Oh,
so they'll basically cut the ABV in half of the beer they're drinking, and so it's been kind of interesting.
It's their own version of a Radler.
I was about to say, so they could sit there for longer, I'm assuming. Hang out for longer. I love that. That's so cool. Well, I think it's so amazing that you've been able to kind of be a little bit maybe on the forefront for at least like smaller craft breweries to be able to do that, because I think it's a very daunting task for someone that's smaller. I feel like the really big places, it's easy for them to kind of dabble and do R&D stuff, but for a smaller place to be able to jump into that, like I feel like that's pretty daunting. So I think for you to be on the forefront and then be able to share that information, I think that's so generous, and like wanting to help, like you said, connect with people and everything. I think it aligns with some of those values that you're talking about.
And selfishly, I wanted something that I could drink too. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure that's so good. So, with you not being able to drink the beer, do y'all have like the other team members, your other, the other owners? How do you kind of test some of, if you're doing a new recipe or different things like that? Do you have a sounding board for yourself as a head brewer?
Yeah, I mean, so I do have a lead brewer, so that actually does most of the physical brewing.
Gotcha.
So obviously, they're a good source for trying all the beers coming out, and then I communicate to all the bartenders like, hey, let me know what you think. If it's something tasting off, like we need to be tasting these regularly. We do off flavor training with the bartenders to make sure that they can potentially pick up some of those off flavors and, obviously feedback from customers as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I said, competitions too. So we still send a competition. And
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
That's some good feedback as well.
Yeah, I love that. How do you decide what, like, if you're going to do a new recipe, how do y'all decide what y'all want to brew next?
Oh, I mean, you take inspiration from lots of places, right?
Yeah.
Food and, things we're cooking, or foods in the back here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Or we just kind of look at what's the hole in our lineup coming up, and, it's, something in the amber range, and then we kind of go from there.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Do y'all have, like, different names for y'all's beers? It looks like y'all do. How do y'all come up with those names that go alongside the beer?
Most of them are not me. I'm not super creative that way, but a lot of them have some maritime connection, especially our Belgian styles. We try to have a kind of a maritime-ish name.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Kind of
so
keep with the theme.
Our bowsprit blonde. So the bowsprit is the piece that comes up from the front of the boat, what the figurehead is on.
Okay.
Or Black Ball double. Black Ball was a ferry fleet that was here.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Some of those type of things. And our English styles we name after Magnolia landmarks. And
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I just now noticed, I was like, oh, those are oar paddles, which is really sweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
we had our Magnolia brewery is right next door to a coffee place. So we released a beer one time, and we offered to let one of the baristas name it.
Okay.
And it was an English style IPA, so she named it like English Tea Time.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So then every single person that came in was like, oh, I can taste the tea in this. Like, what kind of tea did you use in this? It's like, no, there's no tea in it. No.
Oh, that is funny.
So that was the first and last time the baristas named the beer.
Yeah.
It is interesting. We were at a brick store in Atlanta, and they do cask, and them telling how trying to teach customers about cask beer, you don't use the word hot or warm, because they're just like, oh, I don't want that. You have to find a way to say, listen,
cellar temperature.
Exactly. Like, this is cellar temperature, how beer is supposed to be served.
Yeah.
So, but they were talking about how even just like wording it, trying to sell somebody on it, they'll be like, oh no, it's gonna be hot. I don't want a hot beer. It's like, no, I promise.
Yeah. No, you're totally fine.
Yeah, there's always pieces. We have a best bitter that we make, right? But you label it bitter, and then people don't want it, right? But
yes, because they associate
you take that off of there, and then people drink it.
Yes.
Drink a bunch.
Yeah, drink the crap out of it.
Which is so interesting. I love it so much. So we have a couple more questions. Do you want to do the last two? So
I think so.
If you were to offer a piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh, man.
We ask everybody this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have that. Oh,
I love the writing the answers, too.
That's a tough question. I mean, my first, this is kind of maybe not great, but maybe not start a brewery.
There you go. No, don't be. That's not the first time we've heard that.
And not that it's like not been a great journey, right? But it's tough. Like, this is not an easy thing. I mean, just running your own business in general is not easy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, go into it with your eyes wide open. It's going to be your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Again,
entrepreneurship.
You get a phone call at 9 o'clock at night. The toilet's not working. Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're up there.
Yeah. Now I'm fixing a toilet at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's... Yeah, like I said, go into it with your eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say, I think naivety is like a very nice thing to have, but it's also like, be wary. That's like a warning system for you sometimes of being like, hey, this might be too much.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in this industry 13 plus years, and we still are like, when do we pull the trigger, and do we want to be? So it's interesting.
We definitely went from wanting to own a brewery to finding other ways to be a part of the industry without having to actually open the brewery itself. So.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some great parts to it, right? I've met some amazing people and, created these kind of lifelong friendships that would not existed. And, I do have, a good a good flexibility anyways with my schedule, right?
Yeah.
Because, I kind of set my own schedule and
Mm-hmm.
I'm my own boss, which is great too.
Mhm.
And so there are some amazing parts to it as well. So,
Yeah.
so it's not all bad.
No,
It's just-
I agree. The community is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I think it's just being an entrepreneur, like you said, owning
Mm.
a business. Like it's difficult work, but it can also be very rewarding at
Mm.
the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely see that.
Mm.
I love that. And being able to bring new things to the table, I think having hop waters that you've created, having NA beers that you've created, being able to share
Yeah.
that knowledge, like, the area here wouldn't have that. So I think that's pretty impactful. And
Yeah, to educate and inspire
yeah,
others.
for sure.
That's pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, I know. And, I'm wondering if other people may not have tried a hop water or an NA otherwise if they hadn't come to one of your spaces and seen it on the menu.
Mhm.
So to open that up is pretty awesome.
All
I
right,
love that.
you've sold me.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I opened a brewery.
yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Just be aware. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then, what are you excited for the rest of 2025? Anything coming up that y'all are doing this year or should be aware of for Figurehead?
Oh, I mean, we're trying really hard to do lots more events and just getting people out and again building that kind of community.
Yeah.
So we released a beer not too long ago. It's called Laser Flip Lager.
Mm-hmm.
It's a light American lager. Laser Flip is a skateboard trick.
Okay.
So it's raising money for a skate park in Magnolia and also for
Oh,
Skate Like a
sweet.
Girl, which is a nonprofit that's right across the street here.
Okay.
Oh, that's
cool.
awesome.
And then we're having an event on Saturday that to further raise awareness for that. So those type of things are probably the most rewarding part about doing this.
Very cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And being able to do it with people across the street and
Mhm.
close in the areas that you're in with that
Mhm.
community. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a skate term.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I'm not a skater, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I was nicknamed Boo Boos as a kid because I was always hurting myself. So I think my parents are glad I did not pick
You
up
didn't
skateboarding.
Yeah.
That's cool. So do y'all get to partner with other community nonprofits or activism that's in the area?
Yeah, we try to do as much of that as we
Okay.
can.
Nice.
Again, enriching the lives of our community is part of our purpose.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so we try to do as much as we possibly can.
Very cool.
That's
So
awesome.
just go to the website, I'm assuming, to find upcoming events that y'all are
Yep.
partnering with people.
Yep,
Yeah.
we've got an event calendar on our website.
And we'll do when we
Oh,
do our
cool.
post today about like the Instagram
Yeah.
of new episode. We can do the laser flip. We can tag all that stuff in it.
Yeah, for sure. I love that because I think it's cool to not just be drinking beer. People love to drink beer or NAs for a cause, so
Mhm.
it's nice to be able to support two businesses and industries at once.
Mhm.
So, I love that so much.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Well, great. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
So excited to share
Seriously.
your story.
Great to get to know you. This was an
Yeah.
awesome story.
We're excited to go check out y'all's other location as well. So
Yeah.
it'll be great.
Yeah, thanks.
Great. Thanks. Cheers.